No intro tonight, people. It's a very sad day. Queen Elizabeth II sadly passed away, but nothing we do or don't do at a Bergkamp Wonderland is going to make any difference to anything. So maybe this might even cheer you up. Personally, I like the royal family. I like the Queen, and she was a gooner. Her mum was a gooner, and maybe this is what she wanted. But either way, let's get on with the show. And with me this afternoon, tonight, this morning, wherever you are, Stan, I think it is it nearly midday there?
Yes, it's 5 minutes to midday here on Vancouver on this very sad day.
Yeah, what do you think about the lineups? Because that's all really we got to talk about, because the game itself was absolute pants.
Well, I knew there was going to be rotation, and for me, it was interesting to see now with Eddie starting the game, how he was going to contribute throughout it, because he hasn't really given us much so far in the way of end products in the first 5 games. So that was quite intriguing. And I was a little bit concerned, because I've always kind of felt that with our second string players, if that's what you want to call them, when you sprinkle 1 or 2 into our first team, we can get away with it. But I've always felt that a lot of them playing all together in one team is always a little bit dangerous. So I was kind of glad to see the blend that we had in there, because Tomiyasu and Tierney, you could really still call them first team players, right? So that they were in there to help us along. And it was interesting to see, obviously, that Marquinhos was going to make his debut. I haven't seen anything of him. I know that he's played some under 21 games, but I've not seen any of them. Heard good reports. So I was looking forward to seeing that. And obviously as well, the ninja signing that we made in the summer transfer window of I'm going to call him Teabag, because he really reminds me of Teabag from Prison Break. Does Fabio with Vieira?
Apart from he's got one more hand.
Yeah, old Theodore Bagwell there, and I was really interested to see how he was going to do playing in that Odegaard role. So the lineup for me, it was quite exciting to see, because there was a few unknown quantities that I was excited at looking at, but I was a bit concerned.
Let's say hello to some of the people in the chat. Deke is there. Data is there. Very sad for whom? Well, people, whether you're sad or you're not sad, this isn't the place for it. You can go on Twitter and shout at people who do or don't agree with you. Personally, I'm a bit sad about it, but I'm also nauseous because I'm back on my arthritis injections. I can move like Michael Jackson, but I feel sick as a dog. You can't win, can you? Sai says the game was boring. Paul Nell said, glad no one got injured, and we move on. Berg Gunner, evening, weird game, nothing impressive, but a win is a win, etc. and so on. Rudy, it's all about a win in the Europa League group stages. PSV only 1-1 at home to Gimlet. Well, that's... Oh, pardon me, that's something. BX Gunner, hello Danny, hello Stan. I've added in the hello bits he didn't put there. And lots of numbers. I've had a coffee, and always makes me feel ill. I should stop drinking it, really. And lots of numbers said good result expected. Oh God, here we go. Fucking horrendous game.
You see, for me, Danny, this was a weird one, because to watch the Europa League games, I've got to watch it on a naughty stream. And the one that I found, the one that I know you look startled there, the one that I found, it didn't have any commentary on it. So it was a weird one, because this will come into play a little bit later in the second half, because I see a lot of people are saying boring about the game. And I was really intently watching this game up until the first half. And then during the first half, when we got the bad news and that, I had my mum phoning me and this and that and that. So I didn't really get much attention to the second half. And obviously, because there was no commentary, usually I can train my ear to listen to the game and talk on the phone at the same time. So I didn't have that. So is it a case then that the second half was the boring part? Because what I saw in the first half, I was quite enjoying it.
I had it muted as well, because I was listening to Sky News, listening to what's going on with all the people gathering around and hearing people trying to make a sentence last longer because they had nothing to say, and I got bored and turned it off. I mean, radio is... I usually listen to radio, talk radio, LBC, Radio 5. I listen to that most days, all day. Won't be doing that anymore, because it's going to be monotonous. But the game, first half was really good. But the second, I've got to say that I've got 4 notes for the first half.
Oh yeah,
But
okay.
the second half was they decided to come out in the second half and put their foot down and go, no, there will be no football played here today. We're going to break you and stop you. And plus, only one of our players turned up today. So take it you've made notes with little minutes next to them, have you?
For the first half, I've got loads of notes. It's the second
Ah,
half,
good.
Which is a bit.
I've got
sparse.
loads for the second.
Okay.
My first note, 6th minute. Gabriel and Turner, fuck up. What the hell was he thinking? What have you got down for that?
My very first note actually was the first thing that I noticed was, did you notice everybody was holding up big blue sweetie wrappings? What was that about?
Yeah.
I was like,
God,
what does that mean?
Probably a protest because
it was like posh wrapping paper or quality street sweetie paper. So I just wondered if anybody knew what the significance of that was, because that just caught my eye. But yeah, like you, on 6 minutes 20,
yeah,
I've got Matt Turner has a bit of a panic attack, doesn't he, and decides that he's going to pass to one of their players, who then hits the post. So that was quite quite a scary moment at the very beginning of the game there.
It's shocking, isn't it? Like Deke says here, Danny's mum called the results. She couldn't name a single Arsenal player. She's an Arsenal fan. I made her a fan, but she didn't give a damn about it. But she was right. It was very strange. It was almost like the same sort of fuck up that we would get with Ramsdale in goal. And I've been a little bit harsh on Ramsdale this season, saying that he's been a bit of a Almunia-ish, but it seems to be the defence of putting our goalkeepers in this position and making their lives unnecessarily hard, because that was a stupid thing to do, wasn't it? You don't do a pass back to your goalkeeper when he's standing right on the very edge of his box. You've got no room for error.
We do this so much, even last season, and it's always been a bugbear of mine. I know that Mikel Arteta has this way of that he wants us to play out from the back, but there are some times where it's so concentrated that we're going to do that. We put ourselves under pressure, or the opposition puts us under pressure, and the only route back is to the goalkeeper. Now you're putting him under pressure, and if it all goes wrong, sometimes you just got to hoof the ball out. Especially if you're going to be playing out from the back, the more they come onto you, the more space they're going to at some point leave behind them, and that's when you pick your moment to send one long and go into that space. So I always worry about this, putting the goalkeeper under pressure. It's unnecessary.
It is. It was almost like playing an FA Cup game for a lot of the time against a lower league team that didn't want to play football. These people are the Swiss league champions. They didn't play like a team that wanted to do anything really, and we let them get away with that. It's annoying.
Now, I know nothing about this team, but I did hear I was listening to the radio this morning, and someone was talking about the Zurich, and they've lost a few of their key players. I think they lost their top striker and a couple of other key players. So they're probably not the team that they were when they won their league. But the next note I've got is around about 10 minutes. And at 10 minutes, I thought that we settled much more. We were settling much more into the game. We seemed to be in control of the ball for long spells. And even Xhaka had a header, but we put it wide.
Yeah, there was quite a lot of that going on. We've got a new name here, Brandon Clinton Jones. He sounds like a jazz guitarist.
Or a young Arsenal player with the hyphen name.
Could be conservative or no. Not that. Brandon says, as a US fan, Turner is a great shot stopper, but a terrible with his feet. He started soccer at 15 years old.
So it's probably a case then that, he plays goalkeeping in a very different way. And now they're probably trying to coach him to play in a similar way to how Ramsdale plays. And I suppose it's something that he's either going to get used to it and pick it up and be comfortable with it, or he may never be able to grasp it if that's not in his wheelhouse. We'll find out.
Paul Nell, who's American, says, I have zero confidence in Turner as an Americanian. And Data, who knows her stuff when it comes to football, says, Turner looks like he was a mistake signing Marquinhos man of the match. Should we just not go through the minutes for a little bit?
Sure.
And just talk. We'll come back to the minutes. We're at about 15 minutes. And just talk about Marquinhos. That bloke made his debut. What a player. The confidence, the speed, the cutting in from one foot to the other. That was one of the most impressive debuts I've seen from someone who didn't expect him to do anything, did we? I mean, that's what he was doing for the under-21s. The bloke's it's a thing of beauty, Stan.
It's got some physique on him as well. He's quite a big
Oh,
lad
yeah,
as
he's
well,
got
right?
the old low centre of gravity.
Doesn't look like he
Right.
needs to be beefed up like some young kids that come into the team. He looks like he's already quite sturdy.
Reminded me a little bit. Remember when Serge Gnabry came in for Walcott and we thought, oh, hello, you've got a player here, sturdy. Not going to get the ball off him too easily.
No. The only way they did get the ball off of him was by fouling him, if you noticed. But again, it seems like Edu's done it again. He's found another one of these rough diamonds from Brazil, like Martinelli, that nobody's
for
really...
3 million, wasn't it?
Yeah, 3 million. Right, and we've basically snapped him away from under the noses of Wolves as well.
They'd have just sold him on to someone else. Anyway, BX says, go on.
I was just going to say, maybe it's a blessing in disguise, because as the transfer window was drawing to a close, I was saying to some of the other guys over in Arsenal fan circle, maybe we keep Marquinhos, if he's doing so well at the under-21 level, is that we keep him in the team until January to see how he goes. And we use the money that we were going to spend on a winger, because apparently there was that Rafinha money that I was thinking may have been kicking about. And we bring in another striker. If Marquinhos ain't up to it, up to scratch or up to snuff come January, then you can maybe look at bringing in a winger. So I'm glad that we didn't send him out on loan and that we've had an opportunity to take a look at him. And it's good that you see him come in on his debut and he grasps the opportunity. And it's productive.
Magnificent to watch. BX says here, Burn Ledo said it was a political signing. Well, I think we found that with the bloke at Birmingham, whose name I can't remember. I'll send it back to Austin. Yeah, another one who is, but he's doing really good at Birmingham apparently. Thunder Road says, nice to see Danny and especially Stan wearing black. I don't own. Oh god, jeez, I've got the hiccups. I don't own anything black. In fact, my car isn't even black; it's blue black. So, but Stan did make a. He decided to do that. It was very nice of you to pay a little bit of respect like that. But the only way I could do it is to turn my camera off, then it'd be black. But yes. Demsec says, I saw the Lionesses on Tuesday. They would have taken that team apart. 10 qualifying games, scored 80 goals, conceded none, Stan.
Bloody hell.
It's not bad, is it?
If we could have some of that transferred over into the guy squad, that'd be lovely.
Verbal back fit says, why did we sign him then? Paul Neil says, ask Leno why we're only able to get 7 million from him. Carnage on Twitch. Hello, everybody on Twitch and everybody watching. At one point, I just had a look. When we first started, there was 137 people watching us on Twitch, on Twitter. That's lasted for quite a while. Carnage says, started soccer at 15. When will he start playing football? If someone's new here, you feel free to use soccer. We don't discriminate. If someone says soccer, we don't really care. We know what you mean. Demsec, now we know why we didn't go for a winger, possibly. Paul says, good Thunder, that was horrendous. Verbal says, we could bring back that Ukrainian guy. What's he on about? We've got the Ukrainian guy.
What Ukrainian guy?
Yes.
Got
another name that I don't recognise here. Chev Chelios says, good evening. Hello to you. Nice to see some new names. Thunder says, hit thumbs up, folks. Well, only if you want to. You don't really have to. Right, Stan, the next... scrolling. I've got to scroll up, haven't I? I was doing this. I've got a couple of notes. One before the goal, 15th minute. Most of the time, Kieran Tierney is playing so far upfield, he was like a left winger, while Martinelli is more infield in the 10-ish role, with Eddie dropping deep. Did you notice today how so many of our players are playing out of what position you would have thought they should be playing in?
It's funny you said that, because I've got a note somewhere along the ways where I put Gabriel Megalegs is basically playing in midfield now.
He
spent so it's the easiest way to pronounce it, right? So many times that I could see that number 6 was running around in the midfield half. So
because this shows. Go on.
I was just saying it depends on when you go before the game when you look for the lineups, right? On one lineup they had them set up in a kind of a 4-3-3. But on another one that I saw, it had it set up with a 3 at the back, with 4 in midfield, with Tierney and Marquinhos kind of as playing as wing backs, and it had sort of Nketiah and Martinelli playing up front as a 2.
I did notice that when they did the lineup for the Spurs game, they had Perisic playing up front with Kane and Richarlison playing as left wing back. I'm wondering, do these people know anything about any of these teams? Because Perisic can barely play left wing back. He's so old and decrepit. And lots of numbers brings up a point. It says the mighty Kevin Campbell, who you can see on the hybrid squad with the wonderful Sophie, said on BT Sport that we aren't clinical enough. Really need to improve our scoring against poor sides. Talking of scoring, Stan, tell us about the goal.
Oh, there was a Martinelli tried a bicycle kick as well, didn't he?
I didn't Xhaka do one. Oh, was that Xhaka? Was that the last game Xhaka did one?
Martinelli tried one and it didn't come off. And then they're not easy to do. I mean, I can't even do them on FIFA, and that's just pressing one button. So let alone like throwing my legs up into the air and actually getting it in the net. And then I've got and then Marquinhos had a shot as well, didn't he, before the goal? And I was a bit worried there because it was one of them like Thomas Partey ones where he took a shot and then he killed it. He ended up killing the pigeon. It was so far off target. And I thought, oh, not another one of these that just whacks the ball into nowhere.
Did a lot of that tonight, didn't he? Having useless shots that went nowhere near the goal.
But then just after that, the ball gets popped out and Eddie goes tearing off. Then he goes tearing off down the left, and I'm thinking, is it going to be another one of them situations where he gets himself does all the hard work, brings the ball up the field, and then he gets one-on-one with the keeper and somehow manages to stuff it up? But he doesn't do that. He looks and sees Marquinhos coming in, drills in a very, very low cross, and Marquinhos just finishes it very sweetly. And you could see how much it meant to Marquinhos. I thought he was going to burst into tears. He was so emotional, and rightly so. He's a young lad and he's playing for the Arsenal. It's his first debut in the senior team away from home in the European game, and he opens up the scoring for us. I mean, what a rival.
When was the last time we saw an Arsenal player celebrate like that when he scored a goal? Never.
I tell you what it reminded me of. It reminded me of Gabriel Megalegs' debut, because he wasn't initially supposed to play in that game, if I remember rightly. But we were so bare, they wanted him to settle in and watch a game, but we were so threadbare that we had to play him, and he scored on his debut as well.
I may sound a little bit disheartened.
Cedric as well. He scored in his debut.
A screamer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I had some fresh double cream in my coffee today. I think I've overdone the lactose, so I'm feeling a bit yippy. Demsek says, Katie and Martinelli don't play well together. Both want the ball wide and high. Now, that's a good point. I did notice that when one had the ball, we weren't getting it would be a great way. Ashley Cole and Bobby Perez, that would be the ideal kind of left back, left midfield, left winger kind of thing playing together. And
you think they're kind of too cluttered, but they're making it too cluttered because they want to occupy the same areas.
Well, Martinelli does like to get back and get the ball, and KT does like to get forward, and never the two should meet. But there was a lot of confusion in who was playing in what position. I expect most of them to get an earful from the gaffer, definitely at half time and again at full time.
I mean, just while we're touching on our fullbacks, I mean, initially I was under the impression that our number one starting fullbacks was Tomiyasu and Kieran Tierney, but I'm not so sure now, and I'm not sure if Mikel Arteta is now sure what his number one fullbacks are, because you can't just keep rotating them every other game. You've got to have some kind of consistency in your back line, so that everybody gets an understanding. And I've got a feeling that maybe Mikel is now a little bit, with how good Zinchenko's been playing, with how good Ben White is playing out there as a right back. I think it's given him a lot to think about, and I think he's a little bit unsure, because even I'm unsure now. I'm not sure who our number one fullbacks are supposed to be.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question about that. Do you think with Gabriel being the one out of the three main centre backs playing today, that he may be that may have shown who is Arteta's favourite for the two centre back positions.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of faith in them in Gabriel. I think Gabriel brings a lot of qualities that he probably likes. It seems to be quite a leader there at the back. And you've also got a centre back that scores goals. Didn't he score the most goals in the Premier League last season or something like that? He's got some sort of record for scoring goals as a central defender. And you can never do without that. If you've got somebody at the back that can chip in with a good number of goals a season, you can't leave him out.
Does remind me a little bit of, remember Gilberto, who used to always pop up. I think Gilberto's last season, he may have got 6 or 7 goals all competitions. It does remind me of that. And it is a very useful tool when you've got someone who's good with the ball in the air and can do stuff like that. But I think we're just blessed to have 3 really centre backs.
Some of the goals that Gabriel, I said, he's good with his feet as well. Some of the goals that he scores are like, you think, is that a striker? Then is that a number 9 that's fallen upside down on the shirt? Oh no, it is the number 6. It's Gabriel.
I mean, he's still only 24. Ben White's 24. Saliba's 21. That they have got a decade before, or maybe best part of a decade before they peak.
Yeah,
some centre backs are still at their very best in their early 30s. So we're just got so many great players. Midwest Gooner says, is the Everton game postponed? Deke was saying earlier he thinks it may well be. I've got no idea, but it's going to be a whole week of mourning and all that other kind of stuff. So everything in this country is going to grind to a halt, which is quite right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how these things work. I don't know if it's a case where it's one of those things where the funeral will happen really quickly, like this weekend, or whether there'll be a period of what they call, they lie in state, right?
Well, she's coming back down from Scotland on the Royal train.
Oh, wow, that'd be weeks then, man. The train service these days are terrible, man.
2 days, 25 years and 2 days after Diana passed as well.
Really? Okay.
Demsek says...
The girls are back in the chat box.
Oh, saucy. Demsek says, my complaint is the team is trying to pass the ball in, shoot earlier there. But we saw against Man United when we were shooting to... No, it wasn't. We weren't shooting enough then as well. It is very, very, very annoying. And we're lucky that we managed to get this, but they were lucky to get their goal. But read a few more comments. Jota, Ortiz, Marquinhos playing his way into our first sub option. Well, with the number of games coming out, I wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe start a Premier League game, depending on who we're playing. Demsek says Katie and Martinelli can be selfish with the ball. Also noticed some of that. And right back is Tommy, left back is Zinchenko. J. Rob, Loki, how's it? Oh, no, that's not to me. Mr. Hertz. The reason why I don't like Mexicans is here. And I don't like AC Milan. Both your fault, young man. Right, let's move on to So we talked about the goal. Did we talk about the goal?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. I thought we did.
I broke it down, didn't I?
Yes. The next note I've got, because my mum was here, was 42nd minute. So I take it you've got something in the half an hour between the goal and the 42nd minute.
After Marquinhos scored that lovely goal, he was then fouled, wasn't he? Just very soon after that. People trying to let him know that they were there because he's a young kid, right? And I suppose some of these big hairy-assed men, they just want to sort of like leave the boot on him to let him know that they're there and try and intimidate him out of the game. But that didn't work. He kept going. I thought maybe he was going to shrink away, because he seemed to be getting a lot of attention from them, but he kept going. Look, then just after the foul, Teabag, he tried to chip the keeper. He almost pulled it off as well.
There was a lot of that. Either 50% of those shots that we had from Noah would have been on target. But the amount of time, I mean, even when Jesus come on at the end, I think 3 times he shot right at the goalkeeper. I'd expected more from them. Carlito Elguna, hello, Governor, says this game was harder than it should have been. Very true. A new name I've not seen before, Ravin Kapoor. I think we could have been much more composed today. It was indeed. It's very well put.
I'm seeing in its early days because you look at Teabag, right, and you look at Odegaard. They're kind of like jostling for that position. And there'll be games when one will be rested or one will come off and the other one will come on during the game. And I think what the difference is between the two of them is that Odegaard likes to probably try and move the ball as much as he can, whereas Teabag likes to take a shot. You know, he's not. He doesn't seem afraid to have a go and try and pop one in, and we need that. And I hope that doesn't get ironed out of him. And before long, he's also trying to walk the ball in across the goal line.
He did a magnificent. Did you cover that magnificent ball? Because I have very short-term memory at the moment. He did like the ball he did against Man United, or he called it in from the right-hand side into the path of, I can't remember who it was. He did the same kind of ball again today, and you're thinking that boy has got the ability. No wonder he's got so many assists just to cut up teams and break stuff down, which is wonderful.
Sorry, someone's asking me who's Teabag, and someone else says, sorry, Fabio Vieira just reminds me of Teabag from Prison Break. Theodore Bagwell, he's a spit. And when I was writing my notes, it was quicker to write Teabag than Fabio Vieira. And it's
I've got to I have to do that with some of the players, otherwise I'm never gonna remember. I'm just trying to find a picture so I can show people. Right, what other notes have you got then? Because I've only got up to the 42nd minute so far, and that's doing no one any favours.
Right, yeah, there was a header from Xhaka as well, wasn't there? Who headed wide from Fabio Vieira's corner.
Yeah, go on.
So again, I mean, I don't know if you've noticed over the last few games, you know, Xhaka's getting quite into scoring positions, isn't he? I mean, he scored one. Then I think it was the following game. Didn't he hit the post? And the previous game, he'd hit the post. And then today he's having headers. So, you know, I think we're going to start seeing more goal contributions coming in from Xhaka. Just by the way that he's getting into these wonderful positions. And then I've got around about 25 minutes. From what I've got here, I thought Arsenal were looking in control and we were piling on the pressure. You know, we were using the ball quite a lot. We weren't letting them get a sniff of the ball. And then Teabag was fouled.
Here you go, people.
Oh, and then their keeper. Yeah, I mean, it's close. That is close, man.
That is Teabag from Prison Break on the left and Fabio Vieira from Arsenal on the right. I think that's the one way around or the other. Slightly gaunt look, a large forehead. Dodgy goatee that I should both get rid of and grow a full beard or not bother. Menacing eyebrows and that look that says, I'm going to kill you and no one will ever find out. I could kill you and no one would ever find out. So there you go, people. That's why Teabag, he shall forever be known as Teabag.
Yeah, Theodore Bagwell. And then yes. I noticed as well that the goalkeeper put in his, do you notice he went behind the goal and he put in his special secret gloves?
I did notice that he got some new gloves.
Here comes trouble. He's been waiting for the moment to put on the special secret gloves. So he put those on.
Yeah.
And then Eddie gave away the penalty. And then in my house, it was around that time when all hell broke loose.
I put 42nd minute. Tommy fails to clear the ball properly from a header. It goes, rather than going backwards or to the left, it goes to the right. And then Eddie goes, oh, fuck. I'm not a defender. The ball's come between me and this other bloke. What do I do? Kick it. So he goes to kick it, and then this bloke next to him goes, yes, senor, I see you're not a defender. Watch this. Wrapped himself around him like some kind of octopus. And the referee went, that'll be a penalty then. And then he went, oh, but please, sir, I don't know what I'm doing, sir. And then they took the penalty. Is that how you saw it?
Yeah, kind of. And then it was half time. You know, we won. You know, it's now. You know, we're going in there drawing, and it's half time now. And then this is when everything just went bedlam in my house. My mum was ringing me from Cyprus, asking me if I'm okay, and I thought she was talking about the football, but she wasn't. She was talking about the Queen, and my missus was ringing me, asking me if I'm okay, and I'm like, "You're not talking about football again, are you?" She's like, "No." How are you doing? And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm going to do a podcast with Danny afterwards. And it was so then I started missing a lot of the game because the game, as I've mentioned to you earlier, I had no commentary. And so all I could just hear was crowd noise and not I can train myself to listen to a football match and talk on the phone.
That's years of practice.
So my next note nothing for me happened until the 61st minute.
Well, because my mum had buggered off, I was the other way around. I've just seen my Twitter and where is he? Ravin? Thank you very much for following me on Twitter. It's very nice of you, sir. What else have people put in the chat before I start banging out notes at an alarming rate after my shoddy, lackluster notes for the first half?
I mean, as I say, I thought that first half, from what I remember it, because I watched that half quite intently, I thought we were doing okay. I thought that we were in control of the game. We were moving the ball around really well. And some of the players that I was keeping my eye on that I wanted to see, like Eddie and Teabag and Marquinhos, I thought they were all giving a good account of themselves.
Yeah. Brandon says, is there a clear ranking difference between PSV, Bodo Glimt and FC Zurich? I assume Bodo are the worst, given I haven't heard of them, but I don't know. Bodo...
the Bodo got made extinct back in the early 1800s.
I think that's the Dodo.
Oh, the Dodo. Okay, no, I don't know who they are.
So Bodo were playing in the same group as Roma last season and smashed Jose Mourinho's Roma 6-2 at home, and they drew 2-2 away. And I think they were the Norwegian champions. FC Zurich.
Okay.
The FC Zurich are the Swiss champions, but they've lost their manager and their top goal scorer. Mark is there. All right, please. Kalito, we lack that killer instinct. We've seen that too many times. Every game this season, we've had plenty of chances. Jesus isn't actually putting them away. Maybe it is.
I think it was the last game we had 22 chances, right? The game before that, it was like 16. I mean, we're doing the hard bit. The hard bit is creating it, I think.
This game we had 18.
Wow.
So it's just like last season. We're just not doing it. And do you think if Eddie doesn't start, how many goals? Eddie's going to start all 6 games, group games. How many goals do you think would you want from Eddie to show that he's progressing? It's got to be 5, hasn't it?
Well, this is his 6th appearance this season, right? This is his 6th appearance, and
yeah, but they don't count, do they? They're not starts.
No, but I mean, one of those games though, he is on for 35 minutes. I mean, it's almost a half, right? So I count it I count them as appearances. It's not like he's only coming on for 5 minutes here and there. He is getting some good game time and which is enabling him to make contributions, because I'm seeing him getting into goal scoring positions. I'm seeing him, he's a hustle and bustle player. He has a lot of pace on him and he stretches them and he does the hard bit. I saw one where the ball was pinged over the top and he brought the ball out of the air and kept running with it and done the hard bit, and he just couldn't put it away. He just couldn't put it away. So in his 6 appearances, he's had 1 goal now and 1 assist, I believe, in 6 games.
Yeah.
Is that going to be his average?
Well, you can bend stats one way or the other. I'm just taking it as he started 1 game and he scored 1 goal, which is okay. But I want more from him. He did work hard. He was out wide. Another player that was out wide a lot as well. I don't want to see. I don't want my winger, my strikers, the person who you think is the one that you want to score the goals. I don't want them going out wide. I want them to be there, ready, waiting for the ball, shooting, and don't shoot at the goalie. Try and shoot where the goalie isn't going to be. I think that's how football works.
Yeah, you think that sometimes they think they're playing sting-ups.
51st minute, good work from Xhaka in midfield. Thread the ball to KT, who runs with it and has a powerful shot, but the goalie dives to block it and then picks it up after. 53rd minute, Eddie stumbles through their defence. I think this is what you were talking about. Dodging 3 players, has a shot, a very weak shot.
Didn't see that.
He come across from the right and zigzagged in through a few of them as he was stumbling. He kept his balance.
Again, done all the hard work, I guess. Done the hardest bit.
But he wasn't on a steady foot to be able to take a shot. I think it was a weak shot. 54th minute, good work down the left from KT. Gets it to Tommy, who has a terrible shot and goes way over. We are just shooting from anywhere now, like we are 2-1 down in a cup final with 5 minutes to go. 56th minute, another good attack. Zigzag passing from the defence to attack. Ball down the left with Martinelli and he has a shot while being tackled. And I put the next, they should start to tire soon. They did. 57th, stop me, Sam, if I'm going over any of the minutes you come up to. 57th minute, We get a free kick near their halfway line. We pass sideways. We pass back. We pass back. We pass sideways. We pass back. We pass sideways. Then back to our keeper. For fuck's sake!
I didn't see that, and I'm glad. I don't know. I'm disappointed to hear that that's beginning to creep back into our game.
I think they're possibly trying to draw them out because they were so tight knit and defensive. And whenever we tried anything, they're just like with Eddie. He had to dribble it past 3 players to get anywhere. And I mean, it's a win. That no one's going to look back at this and go, you know, that game against Zurich, that free kick that we took. Oh, it's terrible. They're going to look back in the books and go 2-1, 3 points. Move on, away from home.
Yeah.
And then the 58th minute, they had a shot from almost the halfway line and almost caught Turner out. That was he was running backwards to try and catch that. Yeah, I think they tried a cheeky lob over him. 60th minute, great half lob ball from Martinelli to Xhaka, and he also puts it over. And then have you got the goal on 61 minutes?
Yeah, Marquinhos again was involved. He crosses the ball. He comes over to the back post, and Eddie's there just to head it in.
Great work from Tommy in the build-up, though.
Yeah, don't remember that bit.
No, it was good. He got the ball, ran out of defence a bit, carried on going, and set him. Oh, I thought he'd fallen over, and set him up. Really, really, that is what Eddie is there for. That's why I don't want Eddie out wide. I don't want him coming deep. I want Eddie to be there. 6'1", still growing, ready there to nod it in. 2-1 up, and then after that, expect them to crumble. Now, that was an error. Triple substitution by us. If anybody didn't see it, it was Zinchenko, Saka, and Odegaard on for Tierney, Marquinhos, and Vieira. And as soon as we did that, because Marquinhos and Vieira were the 2 for us that were doing the most creativity, were the biggest threats, the game kind of died on its arse then, didn't it?
Really? So the game didn't actually improve with Odegaard coming on? And I know the names that you read out there, they're part of the first team, right? So you would have thought that would have, if anything, should have given it a bit of a lift.
You'd have hoped.
Yeah, that's disappointing to hear.
I think they just went more defensive, and like I've put here, 75th minute, everything we do is either getting shut down or fouled, and it was just constant. And you're thinking, so maybe Arteta thought, look, we're 2-1 up. They don't really show much of a chance of scoring. We find out later they had quite a good chance of scoring. Then 77th minute, Jesus on for Eddie. I had hoped more from Eddie. He worked very hard though and scored a goal, so can't grumble too much.
No.
80th minute. Jesus had a curling shot, but again, right at the goalkeeper. My next note, I haven't put a minute by it, but after the 80th minute, just constant fouling now. Have you got anything after that?
No.
Okay, 83rd.
For me, Eddie got a goal and he got an assist as well. I think he had a good game today, and I'm pleased for him. You know, it wouldn't have looked good for him if he'd finished the game without a goal and an assist, and then you got someone like Marquinhos, first day in the side, and that grabs a goal. Do you know what I mean?
Demsek puts, this was the type of game crying out for an old school striker. Yep. They're not exactly playing quality football in Switzerland. So when it does come down to basics of not being allowed to play well, you need a Giroud, you need an Alan Smith, you need someone whose elbows, and Kevin Campbell, who's just going to get up there, power their way through and just push through and, play hardball with them the same way they was with us. Mark says, I want to see these fringe players doing much more to stake a claim to the first team. Marquinhos and Vieira showed some quality.
They did.
And Mark follows that up with, my pet hate is when a player passes back without turning and looking forward. That seems to be a touch of the El Nenis there. My next note, 83rd minute, Saka set free. Saka set free down the right, then cuts in and couldn't even beat his first man, for fuck's sake. Corner. Again, they just stood there, blocked him, went out for a corner, did fuck all with the corner. At my last note, 86th minute, great break by Odegaard out to Martinelli, this should have been a goal, who crosses it low into the box. Jesus, he could see Jesus running into space. No one was following him, right near the penalty spot. And Jesus just hits it at the keeper. Martinelli should have been furious at that because he could have probably made a little bit more of a run. But Jesus...
What minute was that?
86th minute.
Oh yeah, actually,
And the
by the 86th minute, my mum had gotten up to the 1977 Silver Jubilee party that we had in our street for the Queen. So I was still reminiscing about that.
Yeah, I
So I
remember
missed
that.
all
And
of that.
then we had 4 minutes for the rest of the game, 5 minutes of injury time, and they were the dominant side. A couple of times we'd have a quick break, but it was them. They were all over us, and they'd made some substitutions. I think the last substitution they made, going to go and have a look at it, was they made 2 substitutions in the 80th minute, and yeah, they took off their striker, and I think somebody else later on, and they looked the better team. If anybody was going to score from about the 80th minute onwards, it was probably going to be them once Jesus missed that sitter, but he side-footed it right into the chest of the goalkeeper and low down. The goalkeeper didn't even have to do much work to get it, but we won. We won, Stan. You can't grumble. No. The Rothmans Football Yearbook isn't going to have a little asterisk next to the 2 win and say we played quite badly and we're lucky to win. It's just going to go 3 points.
It doesn't sound low-key 1973. I got one of them coins as well, and then we had to we done this thing where we made like resin and put the coin in it, like a resin block thing with the big fucking silver coin thing. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
It sounds to me though that, well, as I said, I did watch the first half, and I didn't think that we did. I thought we was all right in the first half. It sounds in the second half, especially when you say that the substitutions that we made were, what we would call first team players. You thought, if anything, the quality would have increased, not decreased. So that is a bit concerning that we managed to finish off the game poorly when we've got some of our better players on, if you know what I mean.
Yes, indeed. Anybody got any questions or any notes, or anybody want to summarise what they thought about the game? Put it in the comments. I'll highlight it and read it out. Other than that, I think we are all done on this solemn day. I'm not really in the mood to go yabbering on. We've done 40 minutes, which is 20 minutes longer than I thought we would. It's because your sparkling conversation, Stan, always makes me. We always end up chatting for ages. And just looking at the stats from the game, from goals, expected goals, 2.7 for us, 1.2 for them. This is from Scott Willis, O_that_crab. I'm nicking his tweet. Shots 18-10. On target, we had 8. They had 3. Shots from open play shots 15-8. Possessions 70-30. Passes complete. We did 669 passes. 580 were complete compared to their 188 were complete. Field tilt, don't know what that means. Final third entries 91. Expected threat created 4.6. Don't know, that's nonsense. Zone 14 touches. Scott's just making stuff up now. I've got no idea what that means. Successful dribbles, we had 18. Tackles 14 to their 26. See, I think they got 20 out of 26 successful tackles. They were just. And then interceptions, they had 8. Blocked passes, they had 5. 19 clearances from them, we had 17. And 11 fouls to our 7. So cheers, Scott, for that. I don't know what some of those things mean, but maybe some people do. It's a very good follow on the Twitter. Gives you loads of stuff.
So we don't know at this point then what if there's going to be fixtures on Saturday, right? Everything could change, right, for this weekend. So. I mean, it was supposed. What was our fixture on this weekend? It was Sunday against Everton, right? Was it Everton?
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon. Was it supposed to be at home or at theirs?
It was. We were at home at 2:00 Sunday afternoon.
Okay. So whether that game happens or not, I mean, a lot of players from the first team didn't play today. So they shouldn't be a problem. And is Thomas Partey coming back from an injury or something? Did I hear that?
I think Charles Watts said on his YouTube channel, another one you should go and subscribe to. Although Charles does spend 11 minutes doing a bit, and he'll go blah, 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 and then he'll repeat it, and then he'll go, as I said earlier, and then he'll go blah, 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 and then he'll repeat it. So it's only a 4-minute show, but he repeats everything 3 times. But he's a wonderful bloke. I really like his shows. One of the few that I watch. He said that Thomas has said he will be back next week, but he doesn't think Arteta wants him back next week, wants him to rest a little bit more. But, wow, we sure as hell do miss him.
We miss him, but I don't want us to rush him back like we've done in the past, only for him to, get banjaxed again and sit out longer.
Banjaxed, a word my mother uses. Party wants to play Sunday, says Demsek. if the game is on. I think if the game is, they probably will cancel all the games, and quite rightly too. But other than that, people, I think that's the entire show. There's only 5 people now watching on Twitter. I think there's 3 watching on. How many of you are watching on Twitch? There is 3 on Twitch, and there's 44 on YouTube. Someone's just popped in. Hello. If you like what we do here, feel free to subscribe. It costs $99.99 a month. We will send the bailiffs around if you don't pay. And if you're on Twitch, I think, how do you follow the channel? They should all come together and go, do you follow? Do you subscribe? Do you like? Because somewhere you subscribe, you've got to pay for. And it's confusing. Oh, Jack4343, my kind of formation, says the game was meh, but we take 3 points and we go again.
Exactly.
Very, very true.
Exactly.
We can't do much more than that. Stan, that's it. That's the show done. Where can people find you on the Twitters?
You can find me right here at Stan_the_man68, and you can also find me talking about Arsenal over on the Arsenal fan circle. There will be, I'm not sure whether there's a show this evening. I'm not sure whether Ray is going to do a show or not because of what's happened, but it's usually on a Thursday and on a Sunday.
Oh, what's it? Why can't I ever remember the bloke who runs it? I can never remember his name.
Ray.
Probably because it sounds like Ryan.
Like
that's probably why. Oh, that's nice of you, Jack. Jack says, my condolences to the Brits for the loss of the Queen.
Cheers, Jack.
Very nice of you. Loki says, good show. Top show, says Mark. Jack, thanks, Stan, as always. You have to make sure you're here next time, Jack, and we'll say hello. It's always nice to have people here. We had a nice comment in the YouTuber from one of the other shows. It's nice to have a show where people aren't shouting and screaming and arguing at each other, because there's far too many of those shows where they go, I think it's black. No, it's white. No, it's black. No, it's definitely white. You know nothing. No, it's white. It's black. It's black. No, we just talk about football like you would normally. It's confrontation. I can do confrontation. You should see when someone parks their car half on the pavement. Oh, mama! I use the C word quite a lot. Even though I'm sat down and
red rag to a bull,
I'm extremely intimidating. And the bloke ended up shutting up. And then I went, don't effing park there again, you C word. Because I had to go down to the road to get past him. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. And lots of numbers. Thanks, guys. Great effort after a dull game, but with something significant to some happening at the same time.
Yep.
It was. Waffles, you're going to get a 5-minute timeout for being late. Sai says, bring back Jason. We need some spice. Fucking hell, I still can't stand talking to Welsh people because of that. I have PTWD, post-traumatic Welsh disorder, because in all those pods. He's a lovely man and he's great at what he does. Just got a little bit too much at times. Right, we're going to go. What day is it? It's Thursday. Yeah, we might be back. If we do play at the weekend, we will be back. So it's a 2:00. There might not be a preview show because I am buggered if I'm going to get up that early to do it. But you never know. Today I woke up at 11 o'clock after 4 hours sleep and was ready to get up. Then the blood nurse come round and jibber-jabbed me 5 times to get blood out of me, and I wasn't too happy about that. So you never know, I might wake up early. But if not, we will be live about 4:10 after the Everton game. On this very sad day where Queen Elizabeth II passed, just remember, be nice to people that you love, because one day they will be gone, or you'll be gone. So make the most. And if you have a partner who isn't British and doesn't understand it, and if you can milk some sympathy out of them, you milk it. Hey, Stan, you milk it. You milk it good.
Yeah,
that's what Stan will be doing. Anyway, cheers, Stan.
Cheers, Danny. Cheers, Stan. Thank you, everyone.
Cheers, everybody else. And there won't be any outro. We'll just end the show because it's a little bit more appropriate. So, see you all later. Goodbye.